Welcome back to the Basketball Show. We're living in 1969 with our music choices today. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Bad Moon Rising. Creedence Clearwater had a bunch of hits, but they were all concentrated into about 2 years. And then they had a real ugly breakup as a band. But I digress. We're going to talk 3x3. This is a good moon. This is the full moon rising because the 3x3 team that represent Canada basketball traveled over to Vienna, Austria, got familiar with each other, played against other competition, played in a quest, and then went on to Baku, Azerbaijan, and took care of business. And we're going to be we're talking right now with one of the members of that team and one of my favorite people, Alex Johnson, talking to us from Toronto. Hi, Alex. How you doing today?
Hey, Paul. Great to hear from you.
Oh, it's great to have you on, Alex. Thank you for making time.
Absolutely.
Let's start with this. Alex, I first met you many years ago when you and your teammates came out from Toronto to compete in our Canada Quest, because in Edmonton, we really took the lead in 3x3, and we would run on behalf of Canada Basketball the Canada Quest out here, and your team came out from Toronto and won. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I did. It was indoors.
It was yep.
It was indoors, right?
Yeah, it was. It was over at the Saville Community Sports Center.
Yeah, I do. I remember that.
Well,
we had a little fun battle, me and Steve Sir. It was a good battle.
Yes.
He kind of introduced me to it, and he's like, "Hey, you may have won indoors. Wait till you get outdoors, though. The elements change everything."
And I think that's accurate. So, I mean, that goes back to about 2017, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2017 when that happened. What I remember, though, very distinctly, because Steve was playing with Team Saskatoon at that time, with and they had Linklater, Michael Leifers, a good team. They had some success on the World Tour. And I think, going into that, not knowing who was going to be able to come out, they were expected to win. And I think they finished fifth that year because this team from Toronto with this player named Johnson took them out. And I remember going, wow, this kid can play. And you've stuck with 3x3, Alex. I know you played in the CEBL as well, but you've been playing 3x3. But talk about your journey into 3x3.
It was unusual. I first got introduced to 3x3 from he used to be the general manager for a team that I played for with the Mississauga Power in the NBL. His name is John Wiggins. So one summer he was holding like the Toronto kind of quest to qualify for your event. And he was like, yeah, man, put together a team and, let's see what you can do. And it was my first time playing 3x3, so I had no idea what to expect. But I really enjoyed it, and I was like, man, this might be something I can do. So I started playing every year from that day. Every summer I'd come home. If I wasn't playing 5-on-5, I'd be playing 3x3.
So, talk about from a basketball player who's getting, on in his career. Does 3x3 suit the older basketball player, and if so, how?
I think it can help both. Like me and Steve were talking about this in the room. Like when I was playing 5-on-5, I kind of wished that I had 3x3. Just because it helps so much when you get back to 5-on-5. The game is so much slower that you're able to now just like make reads like way faster. Whereas 3x3, the reads are quick. So it's like he was open right away. You're supposed to pass that. As far as it, which is why I say it can go both. So it's definitely made for like the old man. You're tired of traveling, spending 8 months overseas, and you're ready to kind of settle down. 3x3 is perfect for that individual who's looking to, be more at home, be with their family, kind of only want to go away for the weekends. It's perfect for that. But I also think it's perfect for, guys and girls who are trying to learn the game of basketball.
Well, it's one of the reasons, Alex, that I was so committed to 3x3 right out of the gate when I heard that FIBA was acknowledging it or designating it as a new sport back in 2010. Because I think, and you know this from your basketball experience, I would assume most teams that you played on integrated 3-on-3 basketball as part of their practice and development teaching as they prepared their teams for the season. Is that a fair comment?
Absolutely. And when you kind of like compare the two, it's like mostly when 5-on-5 actions, usually all the actions are 3-man actions. Like the other two are, waiting in the corner or waiting in the dunker, waiting for something to happen. It's usually starting with the 3-man action, which is what 3x3 is like all about. If you're able to kind of figure out the different movements, the different reads out of the 3-man action, it just becomes that much easier.
So the opportunity came up this summer, or this spring rather, for you to be part of Team Canada to help the team qualify for the World Cup. Now, you've played for Team Canada on a number of occasions. What was different about this time?
I've always said this, and every year that I've played Team Canada, I've always tried to grab Steve Sir, because with a competition like this, it's like you have different pieces. So let's say you have a big, and then you have a slasher, wing defender. Like Steve is like the perfect player because he's a shooter. He causes teams to be like, oh, that's the shooter. We got to get out to him. So he makes the game that much easier for everybody around him. So every year that I've played Team Canada, I think we were missing that piece, like someone who could really shoot the basketball, someone who has to, now when teams look, they're like, all right, I can't help you because I'm guarding the shooter. I can't switch because I'm guarding the shooter. Now it's like when we went to Vienna and we played in the Quest, I had told the guys in a timeout that we had, I'm like, yo, Steve just made his last 4 shots. Like, let's use him in the offense now, because now it's like it opens up. Now 2 guys are running out to him. Now he's able to make the pass to the open man, or you know what I mean? It's just like now teams aren't able to be like, oh yeah, they don't have a shooter. We can just switch. They switch everything.
That's really interesting you say that, because when you look at the great teams around the world that are consistently great, they have at least one great shooter. I mean, you look at Ub out of Serbia, at the top. I mean, with the maestro, Nesterovic, who's been around forever. He can really shoot the ball, and that makes it so much easier for Dr. Strange. And people, by the way, I'm throwing out some nicknames here, but you got to come to our Hoop City 3x3 event in early August in West Edmonton Mall, because you're going to see these guys play.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I think Alex, like the crafting of your team this year. Talk about your teammates. You had Steve as the shooter, but talk about your other teammates.
Jerome, athletic. I won't say a big. He's like multi-versatile. He can shoot it. He can roll. Has a good feel for the game around the basket. And then Grant, just like strong defender, but great slasher who shot really well for the tournament. I think he shot over 50%. So it was like having 2 shooters this weekend, which was amazing.
And Alex, you're a point guard. For people who haven't seen Alex play, point guard, explosive, shoot the ball, dribble, penetrate, find your teammates. What impressed me in watching the game this weekend was your calmness and your mindfulness as a point guard in getting everybody involved at the right time, but still seizing the opportunities to score, particularly in Game 3 when you had them. Is that a fair summary of your game?
Yeah, definitely. for me coming in, I know Steve, Grant, and Jerome had played together for the AmeriCup, so they had built that chemistry. So I didn't want to come and be like, oh, I'm the guy now. Like, I kind of wanted to because 3x3 chemistry is so important. And when you're able to take the kind of the I out of it and say, like, we're going to do this, we are going to do this, it becomes that much easier. So it was like, okay, what do we need? Like, we don't need me to score 12, 15 points or 8 points. We need someone who's going to come in, run the offense, facilitate, knock down open shots, grab offensive rebounds, give us more possessions. So I was, like, willing, and, like, I'm just glad that I was able to fit into that role for this past weekend.
I'm talking with Alex Johnson, member of the Canada Basketball men's 3x3 team that just qualified for the World Cup in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, here on the Basketball Show. Alex, if I gave you the ability to develop 3x3 as a sport nationally, what would be maybe the first one or two steps you would take to get people more, I think, more aware of and trying 3x3 out?
That's a great question. I think it starts with just integrating it into, I would say, because, like, right now we're such a 5-on-5 country, it's finding avenues of where we can integrate 3x3. So having them be comfortable playing the game, because a lot of it is people don't know or understand 3x3. They kind of like, oh, it's just 3-on-3, but it's more than just 3-on-3. So being able to help develop these, maybe integrating them in the 5-on-5 practices, maybe like having, like, before you get to really go 5-on-5, just having a couple 3x3 games just to, like, because the thing that I get a lot is, like, after you've played it, people always come to me like, yo, this was fun. Like, I had a good time.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like just them not knowing what it's about. So being able to kind of integrate that. And then if I could, man, just having more, like, tournaments or, quests, or I just feel like over in Canada we just don't have enough. Like, when we have something, like, you've done a great job of just hosting tournaments, hosting events, and I'm sure people have asked you, like, hey, when's the next one? So if we're able to kind of, like, I don't know, develop it where we're having events, and maybe one day, hopefully in the near future, we have a league where people are like, yeah, man, I'll play. Like, I got a team, or I want to put together a team. I think that's, like, the goal.
The way I've described it, Alex, and see if this resonates with you, is that we really need to the goal should be, through the LA Olympics, to help make 3x3 part of the basketball ecosystem in the way that you described it, that it is part of basketball. So when people think of basketball, they think, I can play 5-on-5 or 3-on-3, or I can play 5-on-5 and 3x3. Like that is the mindset we have to change. I think that volleyball's been successful with beach volleyball in being able to do that. And I think that's what 3x3, it's kind of in that infant stage, struggling to find some critical mass. We're getting closer. It's getting better, but we're not there yet. And it just is going to take consistent effort, providing, as you just really described very well, it's going to take consistent effort, providing more opportunities to expose people to the game, because once they play, they're going to keep playing it.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I agree.
So coming up, not that far away, World Cup in Ulaanbaatar. Talk about how you're preparing for that.
Well, I've kind of just, haven't taken any days off. Today has been a more of a pace day for me. So I just finished coaching AAU, and I've been working Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, just trying to just stay in that mode of where I was at when we were in Vienna, when we were in Baku, just getting ready, because I just looked at the pools and like every pool is kind of tough. So,
no kidding.
I'm like, man, like, so just trying to be prepared and ready for the opportunity at hand, because like it was nice. Like I was telling the guys, like, it was nice that we qualified, that we we got here, but now it's like, all right, man, we're trying to really do something now. Like, we just don't want to be okay with just qualifying. Like, we want to go to the World Cup and kind of, do well. Like Steve, Steve was my roommate on the trip, so we had a lot of conversations. And he was telling me about the last time Canada played in the World Cup. Like, they finished 5th, and it was like, we're trying to get there or do better than that. So.
Well, Alex, you have been, I think, one of the great additions to the 3x3 landscape in Canada. I certainly am grateful that you've been such an important part of it, and the opportunity to get to know you, your beautiful wife, your wonderful family. And thank you. I want to thank you so much for making time to talk with me today, and wish you all success in your preparations for the World Cup. And love to your wife.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Paul. Always a pleasure.
Likewise. Alex Johnson, key member of the Canada Basketball 3x3 World Cup qualifying team, joining us here on the Basketball Show. So we're going to take a break right now. When Ryan and I get back with you, we're going to go into closing time. We still got a lot to talk about. Thanks for spending your Saturday morning with us. Lots more to come here on the Basketball Show on your sports leader, Sports 1440.